But it would be interesting to like, I think men, like we've talked about this, but our men should be able to opt out of child support if women can opt out of motherhood.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, and that's what I mean. The
financial abortion.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I think the solution to feminism is more feminism. Like we asked to be free. Here you go.
Well, one of the things that I was looking into is the idea of back in the 70s, and I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Warren Farrell, for example, right? He was kind of like the father.
Oh yeah, I met him. Yeah,
the father of this men's liberation movement, where basically, in the 70s they were trying to, liberate women, but then they were also trying to liberate men. There's actually a famous black and white photo on the internet of a protest where it said, let's share custody, and they wanted mandatory 50-50 physical custody, and they also wanted men to be viewed as more than just success objects. Meanwhile, today, we're promoting the very opposite of that. We're saying that men should be success objects. And so I think that maybe revisiting that idea of maybe gender roles can be more fluid or more of a choice as opposed to more of an expectation.
So what would that look like to you? So like, relationship beginning to end, how would it go?
Well, I mean, I think that, there are plenty of things that women are capable of that they're not doing just because they believe that that's a man's job.
Okay.
Like anything women don't want to do is automatically labeled masculinity, right?
That's such a good point.
I mean, women are perfectly capable of approaching men for business, but they won't approach men for relationships.
No, that's so true.
And it's crazy because if women approach men, they're far more likely to have success than if men approach women. Plus, women don't like being approached by the men that they don't like. So we kind of.
So you'd like to see women approach men?
Oh, absolutely. I think that would definitely. But a lot of people will say, oh, but that the man is supposed to lead, and it's like, well, the women control the dating market, but the men are somehow the leaders, and it's kind of a weird.
They kind of did that in Bumble. Like now that everything's digital, do you think that works? Or
of course not, because when a woman messages you on Bumble, what's her message? Hey. I don't
That's
all they say. They say hey and nothing else, and then they still expect the man to kind of take over. In fact, I even asked a question about this similar. I said, okay, if men are expected to protect women because they're physically stronger, why can't women pay all the bills? Why are both duties assigned to the man? So there are plenty of, because we still have this idea, his money is our money, and her money is her money. And I'm saying, okay, well then what are women working for? You know what I mean? So there's plenty of things that women are capable of, and it's like, okay, well then step up and prove it. But we're always expecting the men to step up to delusional standards. Men have more. We're asking more of men than has ever been asked in history.
And the other thing too is women's money is way easier to get. It is far easier to make money as a woman because like at 22, you could go be like a pharmacist. Like there are girls from my school that went and made 6 figures right out of college as a pharmaceutical sales rep. How long would that take a guy to do?
Well, women are getting, they have female-only scholarships. Women are getting, obviously there was all the DEI stuff. I don't know how that's changing now with the new administration. You also have the, women they always have a bailout. They could do OnlyFans if they want to. Women, female bartenders, female hostesses, cocktail waitresses in Vegas. I mean, they make a lot of money just because they can use their looks to open a lot of doors.
Is that a thing here? I've heard that there's like in Vegas, really hot, like broke guys that they just live off of these bottle girls. Is that a thing?
I don't know. It's possible. I mean, I'm sure that.
But you do interviews all the time. You never run into anything like that.
Not so much, but that would be a good question. Like maybe just kind of find out. Like, do you got some, some Chad living with you who? I mean, look, I've heard some women saying, I've taken care of men before, but. I mean, are women going to take those men seriously for a relationship, or are they just looking for an F-boy? You know what I mean? So
yeah, there was a guy I knew in London, and that was his play. Is he went and got really jacked, and he would just hit on like 32-year-old lawyers and live for free.
Yeah,
in London.
Well, that's the thing. Also, it's kind of like
he kind of reversed the system where he's like, I'm just going to go to the gym. It's easier than getting a job.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Well, it's funny too because it was kind of like I remember when I was at the AVN Awards and I was interviewing the sex workers. I asked a question about if a unwanted pregnancy happened during the shooting of a professional scene, because obviously sex work is filmed without condoms, then, you know, is there anything that the man can do to avoid being held responsible for child support? And this woman said to me, well, you know, if I get pregnant, then I'm definitely going after that man for child support. And I said, well, actually, since female sex workers are getting paid more than male sex workers, wouldn't you be the one responsible to pay child support?
What'd she say?
Actually, well, it's unfortunate because I didn't think of that at the time. I thought of that after the fact. So
Okay.
that's the thing. Sometimes, you know, follow-up questions will come a little bit late. Like, you know, I said, oh, I should have said this or should have said that. But I did kind of, I don't know. It's just, I think that even when I'm doing like street interviews, sometimes it's like so noisy. I mean, just like this is one of the noisiest cities. I mean, I'm out on the Strip, you know, on, you know, a Friday or Saturday night, and you've got motorcycles and helicopters. And sometimes people are like right in front of your face and I can't hear what they're saying. And so there's times where I want to follow up, or sometimes I think of, you know, a good follow-up that I could say later. And so, you know, it's just, you know, I'm an evolving creator just like you are and stuff. I'm learning new things, you know, as I grow. If you look at my earliest stuff, I'm thinking, oh, I could have said this. And, you know, so